Well, there are still a few days until Canada Day, but that didn't stop Vermilion from celebrating early. Bart Padiasic was there to catch the day's events.
This is the third year in a row Vermilion has blocked off a section of Main Street to celebrate the holiday. It's become somewhat of a tradition.
We've had 12 to 1,500 people come to our last couple years events, and it looks so far like the response is good and people are enjoying it.
Along with a barbecue, businesses got into the Canada Day spirit by face painting and giving out flags. The Water Brigade event was the highlight of the afternoon.
Now, the goal of the game is to get water from the source over there to the buckets down to the silver line and into the hole. There. Just try not to get too wet.
Those that took part had a lot to say about the experience.
It was pretty challenging. I mean, usually with a regular bucket, you could just kind of toss it in. You can predict where it's going to go. But with these ones, it's kind of all over the place.
The people that are coming out to see this, it's so good to just enjoy, especially with a day like this.
The day ends with a movie showing at the Vermilion Provincial Park, as well as fireworks a little bit after midnight. Reporting from Vermilion, Bart Padiasic, Newcap News.
Well, that looked like a lot of fun. Lloydminster's Habitat for Humanity now has more funding for affordable housing. Anna Stanislaw tells us where the extra money came from.
It was an amazing experience for the Mitchell family when they first stepped into their new house provided by Habitat for Humanity.
The house we were living in before, we had a lot of health issues, and just to see them to be able to play and know that this is going to be here permanently, that we're not going to be moving all the time, it's amazing for them. Like, I couldn't be more happier.
And now with new funding from the 360 Build Smart program, which is designed to develop the infrastructure needed before building, Habitat will continue moving forward.
This year now, this volunteer engagement, we want to hire someone to kind of be the human resources of our volunteer program, to encourage it'll be to make a database so we can house all of the information about volunteers, donors, so we can encourage our community to help us build new homes.
Today, over 1,300 families are in need of housing in Lloydminster, but with a $25,000 grant, it will improve engagement programs, meaning an increase in volunteers, which in turn will help build more houses. Valerie and her husband worked hard alongside the volunteers to help build their home.
Working with all the volunteers, it really pulled at your heartstrings, because it's just they sacrificed their time with their family and their plans to help provide a home for me and my kids.
For more information or to volunteer, visit habitatlloydminster.ca. Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.
The border city is filled with talent, and that talent continues to step up and give back to the community. In this week's Arts and Entertainment feature, Gerard Lampow takes a local look at a rock band continuing to make waves, all while lending a helping hand.
Recently, we caught up with All But Heroes. Their musicianship and generosity keep them grounded even though they're focused on big things.
Well, we've got a lot of support from this town. A lot of corporations in this town like to hire us. A lot of fundraisers that we do in this town. Even the town of Marshall, they're one of our biggest supporters. They have us out there for many, many functions. So yeah, just being able to give back to the community that gives to us, it's really nice.
They've been rocking for nearly 3 years now, and from their border city base, they continue to launch out on various projects, including pitching in at Telemiracle. Tyler's musical influences include Bryan Adams and Nickelback, but the band still has its own style.
I started off just doing my own thing, so it was kind of along the lines of country rock, but with the guys that we have now, they all put their spin on it, so it kind of, we have a collaborative sound. It's a little bit of funk, jazz, heavy metal, rock and roll, country.
Their drummer came to the border city from Yorkton to work.
I came up here with a guitar, not even a drum set, and one night I met Tyler at karaoke, and then I decided, well, I'm going to buy a drum set, so I started out and with my first $80 drum set that my father bought for me, and watched us play one show, and next week in there, he bought me a brand new drum set.
The next big plan is to get some of their original work recorded, and they will look forward to more of that Border City generosity.
We're trying our best as an independent band with not a whole lot of money. So, I mean, getting the exposure from within our own town is one of the best things that we have going for us right now.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
A potentially fatal horse disease is spreading toward the Lloydminster region as we speak. Peter Quinlan tells us about the virus and how farmers can prepare in this week's Agriculture Report.
Equine infectious anemia, also known as swamp fever or EIA, is a viral disease found in horses, causing the immune system to attack and destroy the body's red blood cells. EIA is transmitted by blood and can be spread by reusing needles and syringes, or more commonly by flies.
102 cases in 2011, mostly concentrated in the northeastern part of Saskatchewan, but towards the end of the year moving to the western side of the province. So far in 2012, up until about the end of May, we have 70 infected horses.
Recent wet conditions over the past few years and heavy rainfall so far this spring is allowing the disease to spread into our region.
The most recent cases have been detected in the RMs of Parkdale and the RM of Mervyn. So that's getting pretty close to the Lloydminster area.
Hayden says diagnosis can be difficult because symptoms vary from horse to horse, as there are various strains of the disease.
So sometimes we see fever, fatigue, weakness, weight loss. We might also notice swelling of the neck, the legs and lower chest, possibly also the abdomen as well.
Hayden recommends farmers regularly test their horses for EIA. She says it's important to do all we can to stop this disease from spreading.
Fly control is important, using disposable needles and syringes and making sure that we use them only on one horse, that we're not reusing them. A Coggins test can be done to detect and diagnose EIA.
Hayden says EIA can be fatal and horses will often die from a secondary infection.
Animals that have the disease but don't exhibit symptoms, they can be put under permanent quarantine or they can be put down. Animals that show the symptoms, I believe that they have to be put down, which is hard for people to do, but it's important not to spread that disease.
There is currently no vaccine for the disease, but Hayden says area farmers must be prepared to take necessary precautions, especially heading into the summer.
And Lloydminster there's a lot of horses in this region, and I think it's something that people need to be aware of and know that it's there.
If you notice symptoms on your horse, contact your local veterinarian to have your horse tested. Peter Quinlan, Newcap News.
The Agriculture Report is brought to you by Novlin Brothers in Lloydminster. Find the best in versatile and Kubota machinery. Novlin Brothers, serving you better.